Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Romi Shraiter about season 2 of Ginny Georgia, streaming now worldwide on Netflix. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I mean, you know, as soon as the show was basically renewed for season 2 and it was announced online and everything, people have just been craving this season and it's finally out now. Has it hit you that people are able to see it? Like, has it sunk in?
No, it feels, I mean, even with season 1, this was my first ever real job. And so it's so surreal to me still that so many people have watched the show and then it's resonated with them. And
yeah, and Samantha is, like you said, you play Samantha, and you know it's one of those things where you got a chance to work on season 1, but you know, obviously, you know, there's a mindset change a lot knowing season 2, because you said before we started, you know, theater and everything, and you didn't do as much, but now you're doing a lot in season 2. Does the mindset change, or is it all storytelling a little bit?
I mean, it was definitely very different filming season 2. For one thing, we were doing it in a global pandemic, which was so weird, and that introduced a lot of other very logistical, boring issues to making a show. But for me, it was really exciting because for season 1 was commuting back and forth between Toronto and Montreal.
Yes.
Because I was in school and I was in a very rigorous program where it was very difficult to get time off to come film the show. Mm-hmm. So season 2 was a lot more relaxed.
Some of my favorite things about season 2, and we're not going to get into super big spoilers, but I just love, you know, when all the friends are together, in the basement and listening to music, their friends' bands and just chatting and being on Instagram and everything and looking at social media and freaking out on each other. What, when you're kind of filming that, are those kind of super fun scenes because it's literally just everyone in the basement and maybe there's some improv there? What are those scenes where everyone's around, Romi?
They're so fun. They're really, really great. I mean, I love everyone I worked with. Chelsea and I were living together while we filmed season 2. So there's a lot of real friendships there, which is lovely and makes it all the more fun, and definitely lots of improv. It's a great time. It's like a real party, but with thousands of people watching.
Samantha, you're going to say, it's crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of I'm sure you are too, all the social media kind of reaction of this character, because this character likes to, what's the term? Stir the pot? Is that the right way of saying it? She likes to stir the pot a little bit, right?
Definitely. I think with Samantha, she's got good intentions and very poor execution and got her foot in her mouth a lot, but she's also, you know, she's not very good at expressing herself, and she isn't a very, very nice character a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. But I hope
misunderstood, maybe, because everyone's gonna say, "Oh my God, Samantha!" And the thing is,
a little bit of a mean phase.
It's also it's one of those things too where it's interesting because there is that kind of label of one of the mean girls and everything. But I feel that group with Abby and Nora and Maxine, there was that kind of mean girl kind of label just kind of around, you know what I mean? And then we meet more of the friends and we meet Samantha, and they're giving you crap for being mean at times too, which I find is kind of ironic, right? Because they were mean in season 1. Do you know what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm. It's true. I guess Samantha's a little mean in maybe a different way from the rest of the girls. She's not really in the group.
Yeah, because she calls, they call her out on a lot of stuff. And,
as they should. She's got some interesting things to say for sure.
And, I've been interviewing some other cast members of yours for the show, and I always start this question by saying you can't say the people because it's obvious. Because I'm going to ask you what your favorite thing is about being part of Ginny Georgia. And everyone goes to the people because that's it's an obvious one. It's good. I get it. It's great. But, like, is there anyone...
Better than that.
Is there anything besides the people that you love the most about being part of the show specifically?
Oh my gosh. Everything. It's been so
everything and
wonderful.
The people, right?
No, not the people. No, I'm kidding. It's really, really I'm very grateful to the show. I think it came into my life at a really beautiful moment, and it came out a few months before I finished school, and it did so well, which is so exciting. And then once I graduated, I had this thing to point to be like, no, I have something on my resume. Yep. Hire me for more things. And it really that meant a lot to me to have something that just granted me so many wonderful, wonderful opportunities. But also to be part of a show with, I know you said not to say the people, and
you could say the people
a little bit, but because it was my first job, there was so much grace given to all of us. A lot of us were new when we started the show, given for us to learn and to explore. And there's like a really friendly, generous energy on that set, and a lot of room to play and improvise and make offers and try things. And it's just a really great team and a really great environment. And I think, they gave us a lot of space to learn how to, there were a lot of actors who came into the process with, lots of credits under their belt, but there was also a lot of space for the new people to learn like what it means to work on such a big set on such a big project.
When you got the scripts, did you get a chance to kind of look at the scripts like in advance, or was it kind of like every episode you were shooting, they gave you a script? Like how in advance did you get to kind of read the scripts?
They were sending them along as they were being written as
okay,
updates.
So you were able to, okay, perfect. So this is my question then. When you're reading these scripts, do you notice this, because I think one of the reasons why the show is so popular, I think everyone does an amazing job with this, is, show that Sara, Debbie, the team is just so amazing. It's like there is this blend that I think is pretty balanced of like coming of age, heartbreak, drama, and exactly. Like there's this like blend. Do you notice that as well? Like, do you notice these elements kind of being equal on paper, like when you're reading the script for this? Like, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I have so many moments of reading the script and going, what is this going to look like? Like, how are they going to say these lines? And then there's, such a brilliant team that no one ever does what I'm expecting them to do. And it's always great. And so much better than it is in my head. But I have because there are so many moving pieces to the story, I have a very hard time picturing it as I'm reading it, but that's half the fun.
It's crazy too, because I think season 1 drops, everyone has questions about certain things, and you get kind of right back into a lot of these relationships that some whether it's like the boyfriend-girlfriend relationships or like the friendships specifically, where there's a lot to fix there. So I think you go into season 2 with like, how are these going to be repaired, or can these ever be repaired? You know what I mean by that? So like, is that interesting to think about, right? Like based on kind of the scripts, where like you as an actor probably wants to know like, how are these people going to make amends, right? Like what's going to happen based on what happened in season 1, which I find interesting.
Totally. There's so many ways that it could all go, and I guess everyone's just going to have to watch to find out.
Are you prepared for the potential like Samantha memes and GIFs? Because there's some Samantha moments. We don't want to go into spoilers, but there might be potential talking Samantha moments. Like people are going to talk about that, right?
Yeah, You know, the writers, they're all really funny people. There are some good zingers, good one-liners in the show for sure. So
Yeah. Well,
I guess I have to wait and see. I don't know.
it's going to be so crazy. And I wanted to ask, because people love this, they crave this type of content and scoop. I mean, besides the fact that you filmed this during the pandemic, so there's COVID protocols and everything, we have to shout out to the crew because there's no, shout out to the crew, right? Let's be honest. Like,
Really a brilliant, brilliant team.
before we wrap up quickly, they're going to get a chance to watch season 2 of Ginny and Georgia, which is streaming worldwide on Netflix. They're going to get a chance to get to know Samantha a little bit more, who has a lot of one-liners and is sometimes might or might not be wait for it, you're gonna get offended, the worst. Sometimes she might or might not be the worst.
May or may not be the worst. I can neither confirm or deny. You'll have to watch that and judge for yourselves.
What are you hoping they'll get out of it, takeaway wise, the audience, like when they get to watch it? Like kind of like what we're talking about, entertained, they want to pick up where we left off, like stuff like that basically, right?
Yeah. I think what I took away from it is that we should all cherish our friends and be kind to them. You never know what's going on with the people around you. It's core. I think the show, like one of my favorite parts about the show is all these beautiful relationships that we get to unfold. And because in the beginning of season 1, it starts with Ginny being brand new to this school. We really, really see like the entire evolution of these relationships.
Romy, thank you so much for joining me on Pop Turner. It was so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, season 2, Ginny Georgia, January 5th, worldwide on Netflix. People have been waiting for this forever. Like a long time. They wanted this, and it's finally here. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything? Instagram, I guess, is the main place?
Is where it's at.
Is it just your name?
It's just Romi_Shraiter.
Awesome. Well, it's been Pop Turner, youtube.com/Pop Turner. For previous episodes, you're of course going to catch Romi Shraiter as Samantha in season 2 of Ginny and Georgia, streaming worldwide on Netflix. Until next time, this is Romi and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.